Well, there's a thoughtful Sebastian Vettel. Late night drama here in Singapore as the pole sitter climbs out of his car. There might be 26 seconds left for the qualifying session, but it's a nominal amount of time. No one will go out, and Lewis Hamilton congratulates his team. Thanks them for all their hard work. He starts on pole for tomorrow's race. It's now, and congratulations Nico Rosberg as well. His best qualifying. He starts third. Well done to him. It's late night. It's gone 11 o'clock, and it's going to be a very late night indeed for the engineers working on Rubens Barrichello's car. They might not even bother going to bed because they've got a big rebuilding job to do there.
Well, in fact, I don't think they'll be able to start that work until tomorrow when Parc Fermé opens. So I think that car will be taken, put in the FIA Parc Fermé, and then as you see him here, gets out wide, catches the plastic barrier, that sucks the front in and down the concrete wall. And I don't know what Brazilian expletives are, but there'll be a few coming inside.
Well, I'm glad we haven't broadcast them, but that's a huge rebuild job if they've got to start that tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. That's left rear, that's obviously front left, new nose cone. Right side of the car will be absolutely fine, probably floor as well.
Actually, when you think about it and the overall result, this has been a big turning point for Barrichello, because he wasn't going to qualify much better than fifth, so to crash the car, you could say, was to his advantage. It certainly was to Hamilton's too. So this wasn't all bad for him, and with the 5 places that he used to go back further on the grid with the gearbox, it's a decent result.
It was certainly a disadvantage to the rest of the drivers who were looking for a hot lap and couldn't deliver one. But let's hear from Ross Brawn, the team principal, get his thoughts both on Jenson Button and Rubens Barrichello's performances.
Ross, tell us your views on that. Rubens doesn't make many mistakes like that, actually, does he?
Well, it was a disastrous session for us. I think we underestimated the competition in Q2, because we used one old set and then one new set. And we didn't get the car balanced well on the new set. So we were perilously close to losing both cars in Q2. Q3 wasn't bad, I think, when you see the fuel weights, but that sort of topped off a bad session for us.
So what was the, we heard on the team radio, Jock said to Rubens, go for it, you know, this is an opportunity. So what did he mean by that?
Well, obviously with Jenson dropping out of Q3, gives Rubens maximum chance to get some points on Jenson, especially with the 5-place penalty he'll have with gearbox.
But as far as the fuel goes, he wouldn't have been much higher than 5th as it is, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, he'd run, his first run in Q3 was old tyres. It wasn't a great run, so maybe. So.
And just a quick word on the gearbox. You thought better safe than sorry?
Yeah. I mean, we've been running a gearbox on the dyno at the factory in parallel. We saw some worrying signs when it got up to his 3rd race. So we concluded here's quite a hard track on gearboxes. Although I'm not sure that one survived, because it looks like it's hit all pretty hard. So. We'll have to see.
A worrying day for the championship or not so?
Not a great day for the championship. So we'll have to tough it out and try and see what we can recover tomorrow.
Thanks, Ross.
Well, he can still raise a wry smile. He talks about toughing it out. And so far this season, if one Brawn driver hasn't done the business, the other one tends to have done. So to have one guy not making it very far in qualifying and the other sticking the car in the wall isn't great.
No, this is probably the low point for them of the season. I struggle to understand the logic of it, that it was a good thing to crash the car, because they're obviously going to have a mountain of work to deal with tomorrow morning, and they've got no warm-up, as Martin mentioned in the commentary, so he's going straight into a race with a rebuilt car. Who knows how to handle?
David clearly knows that to crash the car, he was not going to qualify better than 5th place, and to stop the session as it was stopped, I believe, was to his advantage. Of course, to rebuild a car is nobody's advantage, but at the end of the day, Rubens starts in front of Button, and that is a key move for Rubens.
Okay, interesting train of thought. Now, Jenson Button has said that he's not allowing himself to dream just yet of winning the world title. He might be having a few nightmares this evening. Qualifying did not go the way that he wanted. He starts the race down in 12th position after not making it through to the final part of qualifying. Let's hear from him.
The car looked quite a handful out there, but just tell us what it was like from where you were sitting.
It was quite a handful, but you know, for me the problem was understeer on the previous run. The first session the car felt pretty good, but with a bit too much understeer in it, and I was second quickest. And in the second session, on my first run, I said the car's got too much understeer, and we tried to help it a little bit, but didn't help. I think what we did made it very difficult under braking, because it meant I was hitting the ground under braking, and I locked the front left up into turn 7, which cost me a lot of time, and also with a flat spotted front like it was impossible to claw the time back.
course, you are fighting Rubens for the championship. We've seen him get into this session, but it sounds like he's got a damaged floor, and also he's got that penalty from the gearbox change.
Yeah, saving grace really. But it's been tough in qualifying. I mean, the first session we were quite quick, but the second session, Rubens and myself both struggled a little bit. But obviously with the lockup, it cost me so much time, and I don't know how far I was outside the top 10, but I don't think it was too far. So that's it. 12th on the grid, which is disastrous really. But we'll try and make the best of it tomorrow.
Can we go live?
Well, for what it's worth, the final few seconds has been counted down in the qualifying session. The checkered flag has gone. There was only 26 seconds left anyway, so it wasn't a great deal. And I think we can have a quick chat here with Mark Webber if he's able to recover from an awful lot of sweat. Mark, fourth in the qualifying session, but it's a huge drain on the drivers here. How is the humidity for you?
Well, it's a busy lap. There's no question about it. And as David knows, it's coming at you thick and fast. The walls are close, the curbs are interesting. Every chicane is different in terms of how you can take the curbs. Some are low, some are high. So, yeah, it's another track that tests the drivers.
Right, so Jenson Button starts 12th. Rubens Barrichello needs a rebuilt car and then starts 10th. You're in front of the both of them. Championship challenge still alive?
Well, it's a tough day for them. We know Brawn have got a lot of character, as we have as a team. We've showed that today. Red Bull have put some pride back into their approach, and both Sebastian and I put the car up there, and you never expect to have a red flag in the middle of Q3, but they're the same for everyone, and we're in the hunt.
Strategy-wise, do you just go for quickest race, or do you have to account for the fact you could get a safety car in a circuit like this?
Yeah, I edge a little bit towards having a neutralised race at some stage. I mean, we're going to have probably one at some stage. Obviously, no one knows when. Last year they knew when they were coming out. This year they don't. So in the end, I think we're okay strategy.
Mark, I made the point while the session was still in place that when Jenson actually sees the end of the qualifying, he'll say, where's Barrichello? But suddenly he's going to have to say, where's Vettel and where's Webber? Because suddenly they're miles in front of him, and this is a bigger problem than he expected.
Well, yeah, we were pretty confident yesterday of doing a good job. These cars are very sensitive, track temperature. It's very even here, but how they prepare the tyres, how to get the long runs out of the car, not easy. So we've got a long Grand Prix tomorrow, and we're in a good shape.
Can you win it?
We're in a good shape to try and have a crack at it. So Lewis looks very fast. I don't know what strategy he's on, but even in Q1 and Q2 he looked quick. So
Great, thanks Mark. And finally,
Cheers.
Interviews live in the paddock at 11:15, getting to bed at 4 a.m. It's tough, isn't it? In fact, it's so tough, he decided to walk off in the middle of my question. I can only assume he couldn't hear me, and he thought I was racking. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot, Mark. Lovely guy. He wouldn't normally do that, just so you know. He is very polite indeed. Right, another
Mark
polite young
Webber
man.
and Bernie have something in common. They are fed up with Jake just at this moment in time.
I'm in trouble. I'm not going to leave this paddock on my own tonight, or I'm going to be dragged into a bush and told off by somebody. Right, let's have a talk about Lewis Hamilton. Lewis back at the front. They talk about bringing upgrades for the car here. Lewis talked about wanting to beat the best teams by the end of the season, and McLaren are starting to do that.
Yeah, this is absolutely sterling Lewis stuff. You just see he's hustling the car, super precise. This is exactly the sort of driving we saw last year for the most part of the season. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, he really struggled with this car, but he came here confident, knowing that the car worked well on the previous street circuit, and he's delivered. Now, I'm sure he would have wanted that session to play out and to have taken the pole, even with that 26 seconds to play with.
I just have to say a small little compliment to David and myself. Anybody out there who was working on a little forecast, Hamilton, Vettel, 1-2, they were in the money today, David. Well done to you.
Not like Eddie to congratulate himself. Right, let's find out what's happening now in the drivers' press conference. Mark Webber almost made it, but he finished fourth. Let's now hear from the pole sitter Lewis Hamilton and his fellow drivers.
Lewis, as the slogan here says, uniquely Singapore. Q3 ended with Rubens Barrichello bringing out the red flag, the red lights, but your first run there was good enough to be on the pole.
Yes, absolutely fantastic. Very, very happy. Very pleased for the team. Throughout the weekend, we obviously came with updates. So did everyone else, and we didn't really know where we would be. And Friday practice wasn't spectacular for me. So coming in today, came with great positive approach, and I have to say a big thanks to the guys. They worked up until 10 a.m. this morning, rebuilding the car. We had some problems, so we had to change chassis. And but nevertheless, they stayed up. They're out in the garage today in this humidity, and they did a great job. And I'm just very pleased to be able to have done this for them.
Lewis, what a lap it is here. It's bumpy, the drivers are complaining about how difficult the chicanes are, it's dusty on the last corner. Talk us through that lap.
The lap was really very relaxed. Clearly I didn't get to start my second lap, but the car over the weekend has just got better and better as the grip, as the the evolution of the circuit has got a little bit grippier, and just slow improvements, feeling more comfortable in the car. The lap was really very relaxed, and I was able to. I think I was able to go faster, so I'm quite happy. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with the strategies, but obviously in the best position to start in the front row.
It looked like your outlap was going to be quite a rush. What do you think your second run might have been, given that outlap?
The outlap, it wasn't that bad actually. I had like a 10-second window where I didn't have to push that much, so I had a little bit of time in me, and I was just about to start the lap clearly. But I reckon, we had another couple of tenths in it for sure. So who knows? Maybe you wouldn't have made the lap, but fortunately I did.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you, Sebastian. First time the top three since Hungary. You were purple in Sector 1 when the red light came out. So your take on perhaps what might have been?
Well, I don't know. I think no one of us can answer this question. So for sure the first run was very important. Unfortunately, then the red flag came out. It was my second run on new tires. Before I was on used tires, so for sure wasn't easy. So my lap was maybe not as relaxed as Lewis's lap. But in the end of the day, I think it's great to be back. Qualifying, obviously, especially on a street circuit, is very important. So good to be back in the front. We'll see with the weights now, but all weekend I think the car was very good. I was feeling very comfortable yesterday already, this morning. So a shame that the red flag came out, but nevertheless, we kept pushing. Brought some new stuff for here. It seems to work. So let's see tomorrow. It's a very long race, 61 laps. It's quite warm in the cars, so it will be tough. But I think we have all that it takes. So looking forward for tomorrow.
From the outside, you really seem to be enjoying yourself around here. I don't know if you would agree with that, but there's one wall particularly that you seem to be getting the award for being about the nearest lap after lap on exit. Looks fantastic from the outside.
Yeah, I mean, after the practice yesterday and even this morning, the guys came to me and said, that was close on the wall. And I said, where, because I didn't really... there was not one moment. I think there were a couple of moments I had. So I like this circuit, I have to say. It's really great fun to drive here. The speeds are not very high, but still, it's a great challenge for all the drivers. I really enjoy it. It's bumpy. You have to really, push hard and use every bit of the circuit. So it's fantastic, and I'm looking forward for tomorrow.
Good job. Nico, congratulations to you too. First time in the top three in qualifying since early 06, right at the beginning of your career. Great to have you back. And quickest in Q2, fastest lap of the weekend probably. Coming here, or even this morning, someone was talking to you and saying where you're going to be, and you said, we'll be lucky to be top 5 or hoping to be top 5, but not top 3. But here you are, third quickest.
Yeah, no, it's been a really good day. I mean, we started the weekend, it was a bit difficult, and we really, just all us engineers together and then the whole team, we worked really well, and we made some big changes on the setup, and it just improved the car a lot, and that's really allowed us to be just quicker and quicker all the time. And even going into qualifying, we weren't so sure that we'd make it into even Q3, because we were having some problems with the tires and getting the soft tire to work properly and things like that. But then eventually in Q2 it worked out really fantastically, and I got a super lap in. And then Q3 with the heavier fuel was a bit more difficult, but still it was going very well. And I think P3 was fantastic for us.
It's extraordinary in this season of Formula One how the fortunes change, and one team is competitive one weekend and then another team comes along. If you think back to where you were, for example, at Spa, very different circuit, but here you are, completely different race car from your point of view.
Yeah, that's the way it is. I mean, for Spa and Monza, we all take completely different race cars in terms of aerodynamic package. It's just a completely different car. And now we've gone back to the car that we've used prior to those two races. So we've been finishing 5th and 4th with this car in every Grand Prix before that. I mean, in the 5 Grand Prix before Spa and Monza. And so, the team has been pushing on well with that. And we've put a whole chunk of time into the package, so the car is even faster. And comparing to other people, I think we've developed again very rapidly. no, it's really enjoyable at the moment, and I'm really pleased for the whole team that we've made another small step towards podium finishes, and who knows, maybe we can even fight for a win very soon.
Well, Nico Rosberg is a man with a podium on his mind in tomorrow's race. But congratulations to Lewis Hamilton. He starts on pole, and as we confirmed the 3D grid for the Singapore Grand Prix, we see Sebastian Vettel there starting second. He must be the most frustrated man out there, David.
Well, yeah, if you look at that first sector of his last run, he went purple quite easily. So every reason to suspect that he was running a bit lighter and going for the pole. Obviously, we'll find out very soon when the fuel weights are announced. But if it is the case that Hamilton has more fuel, then he's in the pound seat to win this Grand Prix.
Well, from what we're being told, Eddie, Lewis Hamilton's on a decent strategy. The Red Bulls are pretty light. This could be Lewis Hamilton's race as we round off the guys at the back. Grosjean and Liuzzi.
He looks sensational. I didn't pick him just because I fancy him as a racing driver. I just thought that the way he was putting the car around the track, he was just in a different class. He proved it, because when you get pole by 3 or 4 tenths, it's magic.
OK, that's pretty much it from us. Just about 11:30 under the lights here in Singapore. Don't forget, we're with you for the race tomorrow. It might be your Sunday afternoon. It'll be our Sunday night, 12:10 tomorrow. And following us straight after this, all the football in Final Score. I'm sure Bernie will be having a look at how Queen's Park Rangers get on. Well, there might be a few million kilowatts brightening up the night sky here in Singapore, but it's Lewis Hamilton on pole looking to light up the Singapore Grand Prix. See you tomorrow.